said one drop of my blood could change everything. Free people from sickness and death.
2 hours passed since the procedure. Subject deceased.
Originally slated to release in the summer of 2020. At number 1, we've got over here, in case you missed it, Redfall, which is a co-op semi-battle royale shooter from the same developers of Deathloop from last year, and maybe what should get by mixing Fortnite and a little bit of Left 4 Dead, since this game's premise is taken from bloodsucking, and every character actually has a superpower in this game. Anyway, Redfall just got some gameplay showcasing finally, and a May 2nd release date for PCs and Xbox Series X only.
Bit by bit, the town was swallowed up. Missing people, dead bodies, cults.
They will come for you in the night and leave you empty.
And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, things went bloody dark. Cultists call them gods. Unimaginably powerful vampires ruling over Redfall. The Hollow Man, Bloody Tom, Miss Whisper, the Black Sun. Gods created by science. But how do we stop them?
So shiny, yes, so beautiful. My precious.
The Lord of the Rings Gollum is now on its way to PCs and consoles May 25. On the Nintendo Switch, it's going to be released a little later, possibly by a couple of months since initial release. The release for consoles, though, has gone gold. Actually, we got a new trailer for it, and in case you're new here, this is a story-driven action-adventure, kind of like Witcher games in style, with open-world elements, albeit it is a stealth game in nature. At number 3, not a PlayStation 5 exclusive anymore, but a next generation console exclusive, and on the side coming to PCs as well, touted as a puzzle platform adventure from earlier in the year. We have here a game called After Us. See, After Us is about some future version of our Earth, where right at the brink of human extinction, Gaia, which is a mother of Earth apparently, comes out of nowhere to save the day by giving us all a chance. Here, game's set to be coming out on May 23rd, and now we just got a new trailer for it.
To create constant pressure. Absolutely. Feel your control. But we got fucking laws around here!
Outcast Trials, the much-awaited co-op survival horror hit game, is now hitting Steam through early access on May 18 this year. Trials, here in case you didn't know, has a whole new twist as opposed to the series' traditional style. It's a co-op game in nature now with even 2 or 3 other players, so technically the game is a multiplayer in nature. Here's the trailer Redfall just came up with and the word that the game is coming to PCs and Xbox One, PlayStation 4 as well, May 18.
Progress in harmony. Self-betrayal. A subjugation of perception.
Guard.
Chemical encouragement. Doctrine over person.
This is for your own good.
The final confession. Elaborate and inclusive, rather than terse, for an even greater emphasis upon the experience of personal rebirth.
It is a beautiful day on Citadel Station. Humanity is on the verge of a new era.
System Shock Remastered is now sitting on Steam through a demo, up for pre-purchase for the price of $40 and finally releasing for PCs in the past generation of consoles only, May 30 this year. To accompany the good news, we got a new trailer, and like I said, a free demo for it on Steam, which actually runs really nice and smooth, especially if you've got Steam Deck. Just take a look in case you missed it.
I create. I iterate. I fuse flesh and steel into perfection. My children, Hacker. Their blood is on your hands.
You will suffer for your transgressions.
These are my avenging angels, and they will have retribution.
Heads up, kids. Party time.
Stay in formation.
Smells bad in here. And it's gonna get worse.
Probably the most anticipated game in this genre since announcement. We've got over here at number 6 Endless Dungeon, which is the second title in the Endless universe, what some of you already know by Dungeon of the Endless. Endless Dungeon, however, is a roguelite tactical action and shooter where you have to recruit a team of heroes, search an abandoned space station, and fight these never-ending waves of monsters. This game is now finally coming out on May 18 for PCs and both generation of consoles as well.
Come on, little buddy, take a pic.
Friends, this guy may take a couple of tries.
Well, see you at the saloon.
You want to escape? You need to blow it back open. There's dynamite in the arsenal. And a handle to trigger it.
Guys, the Amnesia series, which is, in case you're new, one of the scariest horror franchises in the industry, is having itself a sequel ever since last year going by the name Bunker, or Amnesia the Bunker. Now, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this one before, but in case you missed it, this sequel here takes a different approach, delivering a more story-driven and choice-based game rather than just a survival horror. Anyway, the trailer here pretty much indicates everything you need to know about the new game. It is now releasing May 16 for PCs and both generation of consoles as well. Calypso Media came up with another new trailer on Railway Empire 2. After like a whole year of wait, I'm not sure, maybe even more, and finally said that the game is releasing for PCs in both generation of consoles May 25 this year. In Railway Empire 2, so you take on a small train company in the 19th century during the Industrial Revolution. As for the story, and there's gonna be a whole lot more new added mechanics and content. Here's a trailer. The Switch version is set to come out just a little later.
Your glove's power, and now you want to find.
Coming up behind that by the same old developers of Mutant Year Zero, one of the finest turn-based post-apocalyptic RPG tactics of all time since the beginning of 2020. For those of you new here missed it, also Miasma Chronicles over here, as compared to the company's previous works, is actually a next-generation console exclusive, way bigger in scale, to some extent a semi-open world game this time around, and more of a fantasy in nature. Check it out, it's now releasing May 23.
You will break through the wall and find me. And if you do, maybe I will tell you my secret.
$2K and Lego Group, a couple of days ago, I mentioned this one only once, came out with the announcement of a new game in the series of Lego games called Lego 2K Drive. A driving adventure game, as it was described, with hints of open world games in style and vehicle customization options. Here's a trailer it came up with, and the word that it is releasing May 19 this year for PCs, Switch, and all the consoles as well. Not sure, I believe it's been over 20 years since we've actually had a Lego racer.
What do you say, Hotshot? Are you ready for greatness?
A power older than time has returned. Free from their imprisonment, ancient wizard kings come.
Paradox Interactive just came out with the announcement of the expansion pack that we've been cooking lately for Age of Wonders 4. That the game's digital editions are up for pre-register or pre-order right now. Age of Wonders 4 here, as stated by the fine developers, blends strategy, role-playing, and turn-based combat. Game's releasing for PC, Xbox Series X, and the PlayStation 5 only May 2nd. Take a look. At number 12, we have Shame Legacy. The first work of its developers, what is described as a first-person survival horror game set in 19th century Forsaken cultist village in which you attempt to survive using stealth and escape mechanics only. This is a puzzle horror game and a first-person play, pretty much like all PC indie horror games, albeit it's just a little more story-heavy. Shame Legacy is set to be released for PCs and all consoles as well May 30.
Oh shit! None of this is real. It's just a bad dream. There's nothing to be scared of.
Nacon came out with a new trailer on TT Isle of Man 3. After like a whole year of wait, about 20 more minutes of gameplay where we actually learn through the trailer and the description that the new game's featuring over 50 of some of the most famous bike brands and models around the world. In addition to the news that the game is now coming to Switch, PCs, and all of the consoles as well on May 11.
the world aboard the giant tank Tyrannus, the children return home to live out their lives in peace. Until one day, half their number become trapped within the Tyrannus as it goes on a rampage, leaving atrocity and strife in its wake.
Fuga Melodies of Steel 2, on the other hand, was the sequel to a well-received turn-based RPG, I believe a few of you know here, is now launching May 11th this year, just like TD3, and it's going to be coming to PCs and all consoles as well, following a Switch release by a month. Developers actually promise a ramped-up battle system for more strategy in the new game, as well as a brand new event system that gives you more thrilling choices to affect your experience. I'm just literally reading the description. Anyway, here's a trailer in case you missed it.
Along with a host of new skills that allow for strategic gameplay and enhanced tactical combat. A second form of the Soul Cannon, the Managarm, utilizes the life force of the children to annihilate foes. After a child's life force is extinguished, they become incapacitated. This provides an alternative to using the Soul Cannon, which requires a child's soul sacrifice, expanding the range of strategies. The newly introduced judgment system ensures that each choice made affects
And last but not least, from only 2 days ago, sitting on Steam through a demo, we've got Decarnation. Decarnation is a story-rich adventure horror game at its core, a puzzle and an action game that mixes traditional survival horror elements with a wide variety of symbolic minigames and based on real locations in Paris, set about like 30 years into the past. Here's a trailer. The full game is releasing in May.